god! Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be reviewing 4 skateboards. Skateboard number 1 is going to be £13, skateboard 2 is £50, skateboard 3 is £80 and skateboard 4 is £200. I'm going to be assessing these skateboards on 4 factors. How well do they steer and turn? How far do they roll? Do they pop very high? And can you do actual hard tricks on these skateboards? So skateboard number 1 is a no fear skateboard. I bought this for £13 today, £12.99 in Sports Direct. I've seen these boards before and I'm not sure what to expect from this one today. Skateboard number 2 is a Fracture skateboard. Fracture is this brand here with this logo, and this skateboard retails at about £50. Skateboard number 3 is a girl skateboard. This costs about £100. You can get lots of different brands, whether it's Girl, Chocolate, Toy Machine, any skate brand will have their own cheaper complete boards. Skateboard number 4 is my own personal skateboard. I customized this skateboard myself. I bought the wheels, trucks, bearings, board. I bought the bolts, the riser pads, everything is custom. I made it myself. I even did this terrible design on the grip tape, so don't laugh. So first up we have the £13 No Fear Sports Direct Special. It's from a generic sports store. I'm not sure what I expect. These trucks, it's all about the trucks on these skateboards, and the trucks, they are made of hard plastic, this bit. I don't expect too much, let's see. Wow, so I'm actually surprised that this thing turns at all. I have had a go on these in the past when some of my students have brought them to my lessons. Normally they don't turn, it doesn't turn well, I must say that. Like I mentioned, it's all about the quality of the truck. So in here there are rubber pieces and they're meant to be squidgy to allow the truck to kind of flex and bend. Now these ones are made of a fairly hard plastic. They're not sort of squidgy soft rubber like you would expect to see in a quality truck. Next up, let's take a look at the Fracture skateboard. This is a £50 skateboard. Let's see how it turns. These boards are okay, they turn, but they don't turn very well. You find that you want to turn around a corner and it doesn't quite make it sort of steers like a boat. Next up, it's the Girl skateboard, the Girl Complete. This skateboard, you can already tell just by picking it up that the quality of the components is better, is much higher. The trucks actually have a squidgy rubber and the truck will return upon being pressed, will return back to being level. I'm going to turn a whole circle in one go on this board. See if we can see that. Last but not least, my own personal skateboard. This has independent trucks, so this is sort of a well-renowned brand, probably the best brand, the most well-respected brand in skateboarding. Let's see how this turns. As you'd expect, the expensive board was pretty good at turning. I would say there's not a great deal of difference in how much you can turn on these boards. My more expensive skateboard feels a little bit more accurate and responsive in the turning, but this board steers really well, and for someone who's quite new, they're not really going to know the difference. Next up, I'm going to do a pop challenge, see how many boards I can ollie over with each of these skateboards. I don't have high hopes for the cheap one. Okay, I'm going to start with the cheapest board, the No Fear skateboard. Oh my god! That's so bad. This thing sounds so dead. Oh my god. So this board is so dead, and upon landing I've actually cracked the skateboard. I hope you can see that there. This skateboard cracked. Oh my god, there it goes. This is dangerous. This skateboard is dangerous. I can't believe they sell this. Fracture skateboard. So this board actually has some pop, and it allows the board to actually bounce off the floor when you smack the tail on the ground, and you can jump with the board, ultimately doing an ollie. So I'm really confident that I'm going to be able to ollie 3 boards with this board and my personal board, so I'll get that done really quick now. Okay, so once again, this pop test really tests the difference between the cheaper skateboard on the end and the rest of them. The rest of them perform pretty well. The really cheap one on the end, this one's cracked, and I found it really hard to even roll up with enough speed to get the height to go over the 3 skateboards and even the 1 skateboard. Okay, for the next challenge, I am going to drop into a quarter pipe and see how far each of the skateboards allows me to roll up the skate park and see where the board ultimately stops and ends, or how much speed it loses at least. No fear. Fracture skateboard. That was the girls' skateboard's fully assembled complete board. And that one was my fully custom skateboard. The reason you're seeing a difference in how far the boards will roll is basically about the bearings and the wheels, how good the wheels are, what type of plastic they're made of, and just general construction of the skateboards. Let's take a look. So as you can see with the cheap skateboard, if I roll the wheel, it just stops straight away. The wheels are made of, I can just tell they're not a very good plastic, and the bearings just don't look very good. With the boards that cost a little bit more money, the wheels actually roll and they make a nice sound. The bearing will continue to spin, and the wheels seem to be made of a slightly better plastic. With the more expensive boards, the wheels roll well, and I can just tell the plastic is nicer here. And then with my bearings and wheels, the shields have fallen off. This one, I've had these bearings for like 2 years and they've held up really well, which means they're made with a real high quality. And the wheels are quite expensive, but that means that the board rolls the best. This board was the worst. I didn't even reach the ramp. This board was pretty decent and I rode up and down the ramp a little bit. This board went higher up and down the ramp, and this board went the highest overall. For the final section of this video, I wanted to perform 3 different types of tricks. A grinding, sliding maneuver on the quarter pipe, 1 trick on this grind rail here, and I wanted to do 1 flip trick on the flat ground to test out all these boards. The really difficult thing about this skateboard is it's completely flat. Like, there's no tail and there's no nose. There's also no concave to the skateboard, so it doesn't even handle or feel right to me. What you're also not seeing in those clips is how far I'm having to push just to make it to the ramp. So I'm finding it hard to express even how bad this board is. Every single part of its construction, how it's made, its design is just bad. The wheels don't roll. I'm finding it hard to turn. I'm finding it hard to keep my speed. The trucks are so thin. Like, you can imagine trying a trick down something, they would snap. There's no shape to the board. It's really bad. Let's try out the other boards. Okay, let's have a look at the girls' skateboard. For the money, this skateboard is actually very good. It's kind of like the Fracture. The Fracture was pretty good, but this one handles better. It rolls a bit more smoothly. I feel like it responds on turns way better than the Fracture. You're actually getting pretty much a steal for like 80, 90, 100 pounds with this type of board. Lastly, we're gonna look at my skateboard. Obviously, this is a board that I'm very, very used to. These trucks are good, they slide well. Wheels are great, the bearings are great. You know what you're getting if you pay a lot of money and you customize it totally yourself. Okay, so what an interesting experiment, trying 4 different boards. I'm really sweaty after trying loads of different tricks. These super cheap boards, they are terrible. Avoid them at all costs. The wheels do not roll, the trucks do not turn, and the board clearly does not last up to any testing at all. I cracked this board within a few minutes. There it is, there's the crack, and maybe I deserve a refund. These are ones that I stock for my lessons, like I said earlier. They're pretty good. You can get another brand called Enough, and these retail about £50. The wheels roll, the trucks turn, and the board pops as you'd expect for a skateboard. For pro branded boards like this, there's there's loads of different other ones out there. You're looking at £80 to £100. These boards are pretty good. The wheels roll, the trucks turn, the board pops. It feels nice to ride, and it's pretty much as you'd expect for a board. If you are a beginner or someone quite new but you're really interested in skateboarding for a long time, I would recommend this as a beginner board. Ultimately, if you've got the money to spend and you can afford to buy individual components, then building your own custom skateboard is going to be the best option. You get to choose what trucks you want to ride, the width of the trucks, the width of the board. You can choose a board with concave that fits your style. You can go to the shop and basically choose every part to fit your type of skateboarding, and you can trust that everything is going to perform as expected. So there it is. I wanted to make this video just as a bit of a guide for people looking at skateboards this year, maybe for Christmas, for someone in your family or for yourself. Highly avoid buying cheap skateboards. Don't buy skateboards off Amazon. Don't buy boards from Sports Direct or really cheap skateboards. I would recommend you need to spend at least £50. If you spend less than that, you're not really getting what you want out of your skateboard. It's going to be something that gathers dust, and you're not going to really enjoy it. You're not going to get into skateboarding because the board's going to be really bad. So there's some skateboards you can buy: a £50 board, an £80 board, and a £200 board. All depends on your budget and what you want it for. If you're skating for ages, then I would recommend spending as much as you can afford. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.